of you never knew that IPOB and this Biafra movement was for your liberation. Some of you saw maybe the oil and gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we'll have access to oil and gas. In the process of having your eyes fixated on oil and gas, your forest is gone. Do you understand it? Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Where are those Hausa people today? Do you see them anymore? Those saying we are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Do you see them again today? Do you see them? I'm asking you. No, because Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. Look at what they're doing in the East. In the East, they come to the East, I will tell you, oh, you want to be the president or vice? Yeah. They say, give us land for Ruga. They give them land. As soldiers of Kadu did that Lord Banta. They have taken it over in forever and ever. Give us land in your state. Hope of them prove to us that you are stood. Give us land in Olo. Hope of them will give them land in Olo. We can go and kill people in Obibo. We can kill for them. How many Fulani governors are prepared to kill bandits? I didn't say normal people. I'm talking about armed, dangerous bandits. How many Fulani governors? Go and read your newspapers, you will see it there. Fulani governors are negotiating with them, giving them arms, giving them vehicles, making sure that their life is no longer a misery. But see, they come down to the south. They tell you, give us land for Ruga. Go and kill your people to prove to us that you're one Nigerian. That was why Obi was talking rubbish. He was talking, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Supported by the BBC. The problem you people have in Nigeria is this. Your journalists, you see people, Punch newspaper, Tribune, Vanguard, and Nation, they are your second worst enemies. I'm telling you the truth. They can never, ever be objective in their reportage. Never, ever, ever. That's why all of you are suffering. But you don't know it. They were the same people used to scuttle the NSAS protest. Of course, some of you went about looking for Indomie in warehouses. Typical black people. Any revolution that is coming now, you must stand very firm. They'll say, oh, you're Igbo. Oh, you're Yoruba. Oh, you are from Europe. Don't join them. It's our turn in 2023. If you do this, you will scuttle our chances of becoming the president in 2023. Ask yourself, all of them that have been president from time immemorial, what benefit has it brought to you as a human being? Absolutely nothing. So you have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. You look at them now, how they have now descended on Yoruba people, asking them to concede, give us your forest, we must graze, we must do this, we must do that. And slowly, before your eyes, they are giving in, they are capitulating, they are allowing them to go, if you don't give it to us, so Tinubu will not be president in 2023. The life that you are about to bequeath to your children and grandchildren, look at Hausa people. Is there any Hausa governor today? Is there any Hausa emir? Is there land though? Katsina is Hausa land. Kanu is Hausa land. Sokoto is Hausa land. Hausa people own it, indigenous to those areas. I'm asking you this question. Is there any Hausa man who's an emir in the north? The answer is no. Something is going to happen to you. If you don't rise up now to break, I'm not even asking people to break this, you demand for what rightfully belongs to you, your freedom. The freedom to decide. The freedom to write a constitution if you prefer. The freedom to live with whoever you want to live with. That is what we're asking for. But most people misunderstood what we are saying. And today, almost everything we have said about the zoo has come to pass. Everything we have told you, everything I told you has come to pass, hasn't it? Everything. And some people are still questioning and arguing. They said, Fulani will resist by all means necessary, including armed resistance, any attempt to forcefully eject them from the forest. Yoruba, you must ask yourself this question. When we were pursuing them from Ebonyi, why didn't they say something about ESN or Nnamdi Kanu? Why? Have you asked yourself that question? Because they know we are prepared to die to defend our land. They understand that very well. That is the only language the Fulani understand. You cannot say to Fulani, oh, let us have a Fulani president. And after that, all will be well. Never, ever, ever. They will continue to expand. They will continue to identify idiots in your midst, traitors, saboteurs in your midst. They will promise them heaven and earth. They will give them anything they ask for. in order to ensure that they get into you, they subjugate you. Look at Yoruba land, Ilorin. Yoruba, how did you lose Ilorin? You lost Ilorin because somebody thought or felt that by aligning himself with what he felt was a superior Fulani force, he can defeat his own people. Afonja, what happened? As a result of that miscalculation, the great Yoruba race lost Ilorin to Fulani Caliphate. That is why in Ilorin you have an emir of Ilorin, not an Oba of Ilorin, answerable to Sokoto. That is where Lai Muhammad comes from. You can see them. Sokoto slaves in Yoruba land. When I say this, it's not religion. It has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with the mentality of a conquered people. Now they have left the Ilorin, having taken Ilorin and taken it to Sokoto. They now want to come into Oyo. They want to come into Ondo. Once they take over all those places, it's over for the Yoruba race. Over for you. No, never again will anybody rise a man of honor or integrity in Yoruba land. Never ever. It will only be their stooge. Look at what's happening in the East. Only Fulani stooges can now emerge in the East. It took them very many years, nearly 50 years, to accomplish this very simple task of making sure that everybody, be it Ohanese, be it Pandef, be it governor, anybody you're bringing out must come to the north to swear allegiance to the caliphate. All of them, bar none. Is there any political godfather in the East? There is none. They all go to the north to go and swear allegiance to the Janjaweed. That is why our life is in a mess. That is why they can do something like Obiozo and make him the Ohanese President General. In front of our eyes, in front of Korokoro. And what did they bribe? They gave money to BBC. They gave money to all Zoo newspapers. They started to trumpet. Obiozo, Apex Group, Apex. You saw them holding their meeting under a canopy. A ton without shame. A whole Ohanese. Under sand, ton canopy. Maybe you saw it disgraceful and shameful. Talking rubbish. The man looks like a Janjaweed anyway. Talking nonsense. These are people they have prepared for you to sell you down the drain. By the time the Fulanis are done with you, believe you me, if you don't rise up now to fight for your freedom, by the time Fulanis are done with you, you'll be more useless than a Hausa peasant doing Babiala somewhere in Zaria. That is the future that awaits you. Now, our people must understand this very clearly, especially my Yoruba brothers and sisters. It is about time you stop supporting evil. That evil is in Asorok. That evil is a gang of reprobates calling themselves presidency. The more you keep on supporting evil in the zoo, the more your land will be taken from you. The more your daughters will be raped and abducted, the more your sons will be slaughtered in cold blood. And under one Nigeria, there is nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing.
There is nothing you can do about it, of course. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone and I welcome you to this program. While you are joining us, share this video, invite others to join wherever you are watching from. Are you watching from YouTube, Facebook? Share the video, click the like button if you are watching on Facebook or on YouTube for the algorithm to do the sharing as well. Those watching on YouTube, click the like button, share the video. If you're watching on Facebook, click the like button, share the video. So, you are welcome to this program. We are back again. So, we are here again to continue where we stopped. We see some things that transpired, few days ago. Before we proceed with this, the real broadcast that we have for the day, there is something I want to address because there is something that says An adage that said charity begins from home. That is the reason why we are going to touch base with the things that is happening back in Biafra land. And that thing that is happening in Biafra land, it is something that I want to address, which is the activities of those traditional rulers in Imo State. Those traditional rulers in Imo State, which, of course, those traditional rulers will understand that Hope Uzodimma bribed them and gave them money, because the reason why Britain decided to make sure that they bastardize the process in which our people select their traditional ruler, it is as a result of what you are seeing today. And that is the reason why we are starting with that. Because when I saw such, this type of traditional rulers, you will find out that they will never do anything in the benefit of those who are called will I call them their constituencies or their communities, where they are custodian of. So it is very, very important that you understand this is part of the reason why our heritage, we discontinued from it, because had it been we studied, we continued with our heritage, you will not find somebody call himself a traditional ruler coming to support abomination. The land where he is stepping upon will destroy him. That is the tradition of our land. That is how it was used to be. But today, all those things are bastardized. All these things are destroyed. That it is now the job of a governor to decide who is going to be the traditional ruler and who is going to, what they are going to be like. So it is now destruction of it is actually destruction of our tradition and heritage. If you go to Fulani land, you will never have any politician interfering with who is going to be the emir. Rather, the emir determines who is going to be the president. But if you go to Yoruba land, you will never find anybody interfering with who is going to be the traditional ruler or Oni of Ife. It is Oni of Ife who has upper hand, because they will actually determine who they will endorse in the political space. And you will never find Oni of Ife actually coming publicly to tell you this person is going to be your governor. Or you will never see Fulani, whoever, what do you call them? Emir, coming out to tell you we are endorsing, El-Rufai to be the governor of the state. You will never find them. But because what they did to us was specially done, they concentrated on our people, because they know that our people are actually capable of transforming the fate of the country. That is the reason why, because it all started when Queen Elizabeth arrived in Nigeria. When Queen Elizabeth arrived in Nigeria, every other race and their traditional rulers greeted her with double hands, with, 2 hands, and the other one fall down for her. Only traditional ruler from Igbo land greeted her with 1 hand, because she's a woman, and they understood that we have a patriarchal society. So from there, they saw that they have a lot of work to do on these people. That is exactly the reason why they decided to colonize us more than the way they colonized every other person in Nigeria. That is the reason why they decided to work on our mind more than they worked on the mind of any other person in Nigeria. How were they able to achieve it? By taking the power and giving to the Fulani. Taking the power and rotating it from Fulani to Yoruba sometimes. making sure there is a deprivation of economic opportunities from our people, making sure that they deprive our people of any opportunity that will enable them to thrive in the setup called Nigeria, knowing that if our people were given opportunity prior to the time of independence, that we will transform Nigeria to become better than the present Japan. They saw that coming, because your enemy will always see what you will become. Even before you will be able to perceive it. They saw the quality of our people. They saw what we are capable of doing. They decided that they will concentrate on our people. How did they work on our mind? It is not like as if they put us in a place and start drilling our minds. They work on our mind through poverty. They work on our mind through exclusion. They work on our mind through marginalization. They work on our mind through institutionalizing poverty in our land. That was how they worked on our mind. And because of that, you find our traditional rulers, who are supposed to be, will I call them, the custodians of the land, who are supposed to be the most respected people. These people, they do not possess any atom of respect for themselves. Talk more of people respecting them, because they have sold their dignity. They have washed their filth in public. That is what these people were able to do on our people. And it is all about institution called poverty. Poverty institution that they have actually established in our land, exclusion institution that they have established against our people, and you call marginalization institution that they have established against our people. All these things are the things that they have done, and those work on our minds. Frustration destroyed us from inside. Frustration, it boils down to what you call, people be, frustration, stress of poverty. What is my children going to eat? If I don't even, people who cannot actually, be sure of where their next meal is coming from. So it boils down to frustration. From frustration, they become depressed. From depressed, they have a psychological problem. From there, no one is there to help. You will not know that so many people are crazy in our land. You will not know that so many people are actually psychologically oppressed. You will not know that people are sick. When you see them dressed like with red. You see them dressed with a traditional ruler cap. You will think that these people are okay. You will not know that some of them are sick, mentally sick. That's what Britain were able to do against these people. They were the most targeted. How can Britain, how were they able to work on the minds of our people to the extent that traditional rulers becomes puppets to state governor? When traditional rulers were used to see as president in our land, when traditional rulers are custodians of the land, when traditional rulers are actually, when they were the people that are most respected because they know the nooks and cranny of the land. They know the traditions of the land. So everybody, wherever you come from, wherever you hail from, you will look for traditional rulers for blessings and guidelines. But today, the traditional rulers are actually object of caricature. Object of caricature. That's what our traditional rulers has become. That is the reason why you will find our traditional rulers knowing and having seen the activities of Hope Uzodinma in the last 4 years, that our people have died in thousands under the leadership of this guy called Hope Uzodinma. Yet, these traditional rulers decided that they will come out in their numbers to disgrace themselves in Imo State in order to tell you, that anybody who cannot vote for Hope Uzodinma, they were actually praying against such person. For you to understand that, when if you read the Bible, you will understand where it says that it says that the elder people, the people we look up to, will begin to act like children. And that is exactly what we are seeing in these traditional rulers. They are beginning to act like children. Then children that when children now come up to actually correct them, they will tell you, you do not have respect. But we don't have respect for failure. We don't have respect for evil people. We don't have respect for people who worship money. We don't have respect for people who prefer money to one's life. We do not have respect, and we will never have respect for such people, because such people are, they are gangs of reprobates. They are evil. That is the reason why you see such people and you see them, whatever they are doing, they will never do anything to represent anybody. They do something they do to represent their own people, their own family. Let me play it. Let me borrow this video from this from my comrade. Let me borrow this video from my comrade Wachineke, because I think I was not able to extract such video, but let me borrow it from one of our comrades where I will be able to listen to it, so that you will hear and understand what we are talking about. Our culture being bastardized. Listen attentively. Pay attention to this. Before we proceed.
Ezekeze otu onye na-asụ na-abịala ọchị obie Chineke nna m ọpụta obie aha m iburu ibu dịka ihe mkpere na ekpere aha ga-ebuka ntụwe ga-eche ugbu a nwata echi aka m na-echu gị ọ ya ka a na-akpọ Ancient of Days, ọ ya ka a na-akpọ Rock of Ages, ọ ya ka a na-akpọ Lion of Judah, ọ ya ka a na-akpọ El Shaddai, ọ ya ka a na-akpọ nụrụ ihe nna m ya karịjie onye si nwa ọlụ ọbụla atụke na buut ya emekọtata ịgịrị onye ọzọ na-awụdo APC na-awụdo ebe ụzọ dị mma nọ asụpụ ọfọdụ ga-ejide ọgịda arịrị ya na mma.
Did you hear that? Did you hear your traditional ruler? What the traditional ruler is saying? They are actually promoting a particular party that has killed more than this man that the traditional rulers are promoting. We know that everybody has the right to promote anybody. But in a situation whereby you are a traditional ruler, you are giving maybe 100,000. How much is 100,000 in the US dollars in this currency? How much is 100,000 naira to US dollar? If you know it, please comment there. I don't know. 100,000 to US dollar. Is it up to 200, is it up to $100? Is 100,000 naira up to $100? Is it up to $150 or $120? It is within this range. It is within this range that you took this money and gave to traditional rulers. The traditional rulers began to speak like children who were given a sweet. That's why they started praying. If you actually listen to the way they are praying, you will understand that these are traditional rulers that are, new millennial traditional rulers. That's what they are. Because we know the real traditional rulers that we have and we knew in our land how they used to pray. Now, secondly, they will never rise up to pray against their land because of what, they are believing in somebody that gave them maybe 100,000. Now, these people are praying to say that anybody who will not vote for this particular party, that person will never, it will never go well with them. And in the past, before our heritage was destroyed and bastardized, we used any prayer done by traditional rulers. Those prayers are very effective. Any prayer that is done by a traditional ruler, it is very, very effective. We call it Igofo because traditional rulers are the only people who handles Ofo. Ofo is actually seen as a piece of wood that people hold in their hands. Ofo, it is like, when you are taking an oath of office, that Ofo is our, is what we hold in order to take an oath of office. Ofo is a truth. It is called the truth. Ofo is something you can actually have. It is something like this. Something you will hold like this. You will use it to swear an oath of office. And this, when you see a piece of wood in this regard, in our land, and it is called Ofo, it is the truth. Whoever you curse with this Ofo, as long as you stand in the truth, those things will come to manifestation. Now, in a situation whereby you have a traditional rulers whom their own prayer is very, very effective according to the traditionals and the law of the land, coming out to actually make it mandatory that anybody who is going to vote must vote for a particular person who gave them 100,000, less than $150. Who dashed them less than $150. That if you do not vote for them, it means that the God of the land will not do, will punish you or will curse you. This is this is degradation. This is degradation of our mighty people. This is mighty men have fallen to the Western hegemony. Mighty men have fallen that the children will see them as nobody. That is exactly what we have seen in the likes of these traditional rulers. They came to pray against anybody who will vote against the criminal called Hope Uzodinma, who has killed more than thousands of our people, a criminal that has a place, a person that has a prison called a mortuary. A prison called a mortuary. It is the same criminal that this traditional ruler, remember there is a release, there is something that is released by the US on how the previous administration in Nigeria executive, which was known as imposter in Aso Rock, the man who impersonated Buhari after Buhari died in 2017. They created a man that impersonated him for 5 years. That man, through him and under his watch, They implemented some non-state actors, give them gun, give them ammunitions, and they deploy them into the land, especially into this land of Imo State, where they are killing people like flies. People were dying like flies in this Imo State that we are talking about. Then the traditional rulers, they have the audacity. They saw that publication. It is still, the publication is still in this, where is it? It is, what is the name of this Showeres newspaper or news channel? The news is still making round on social media how they released that information that Buhari used this Ebubago militia to go out there to kill our people. Remember, Buhari said that Biafrans, that we are dot in a circle. After making such statements, Sahara Reporter, if you go to Sahara Reporter, you will find what I am actually looking for right now. If you go to Sahara Reporter, let me actually try to find it. You will find exactly what I am talking about. Ebubago militia was actually created. Thank you very much, Adan Neka, Adline, and Vitalis for that update. If you actually understand the activities of Ebubago militia, it is not long ago that Ebubago militia went to where people were having traditional marriage or people were having wedding. I don't want to classify it. People were having wedding in Imo State. Ebubago militia stormed the wedding venue. Ebubago militia killed more than 13 able-bodied men, father, uncle, husband, and brother. Ebubago militia killed 14 of them. Under the watch of Hope Uzodinma, the man that this guy or these guys out, they are not even fathers. They don't, these guys wearing traditional wear, of course it has been bastardized. You see people are wearing traditional Igwe clothes everywhere because it doesn't have, unless a value, it does not have value anymore. Anyone can afford it. So you find these people that I don't know where they gathered them from, wearing traditional rulers, kingship, regalia, coming to actually video themselves, video their ignorance, and bring it out in the public domain, where they are actually calling on everybody that is not going to be voting this person. They are cursing those people in advance that you should vote for this killer machine. You should vote for the killer machine. What make you think that if there are criminal organizations who maybe saw that tomorrow that what they are doing, they don't like maybe their criminality, or they have, they have detested the criminality they saw, it is as a result of people whom you have actually given the authority to govern, whom you have given the, whom they have imposed on you maybe, or you, because they will use you to rally about them. At the end of the day, they impose on you whoever they want to impose on you, or people you have given the authority to rule over you, to represent you in the upper echelon. These are the same people who are actually impoverishing you, killing you, destroying your future, destroying the future of your children. They decided to have, if they had access to the gun and bullet, and they decided to see this type of people, and they go after them. Do you know what they will say? They will say that bandit, criminality, IPOB, this and that. Do you know, maybe I am so facetious the way I am saying it, but I am very serious. I am very, very serious. One thing you should understand is that this type of people, they will attract evil against themselves, because these people that their youth, their family members were killed by Hope Uzodimma, especially those boys, those were the ones that actually trended. Those people that their family members were murdered in a cold blood by Hope Uzodimma when they were doing their wedding ceremony. If 14 or 13 of them rise up today and say that no matter what it is going to take, we are going to get justice for our own brothers, and anybody who will come up to say they are in support of Hope Uzodimma, who is Fulani imposed governor, a man that did not actually take second in political election, not third in political election, which is democratic election as they call it. The man emerged victorious. The man people knows that they did not vote for. Third in the position of leadership, was selected by the Supreme Court. Now, the same man is using 100,000 to buy red cap chiefs and traditional rulers in order to bring himself back. Under the regime of this criminal, many people died. Why is it that a black man is power intoxicated? Why is it that a black man does not know when to resign from power? If it is in the US, if it is in Europe, if it is in a developed country that you sit in a position of power, crime of killing, brutal murder or gruesome murder of citizens where you represent become prevalent. If you cannot handle it, you give up the position of power, so that maybe somebody who has the competency to handle such may take over. But in Africa, in Nigeria, you will never find them doing it. The only thing they will start doing, it is all about them trying to make sure they come into the position of power again. It does not matter how many is going to die, because they don't care about you. They don't care about you and I. The only thing they care about is themselves and their immediate family. That's what they care about. And tomorrow, you will go to, when you see military coup happening, people makes it, call it, we are restoring democracy. United Nations will come in, and the AU will come in. Just like we are going to now, you will find the plans of United Nations. And you will find the plans of AU. When they go to, is it dinner party in Addis Ababa, all they think about is how to, promote evil against ordinary people in Africa. That's what they do. Now, when you go to, you find out the EU, their plan whenever they sit, where they plan their conspiracy, where they plan their evil, all against the black people, all against Africa. They plan it very well, they execute it very well. But it is a pity today they have opposition. We are going there. But let us finish these present things. Charity begins from home. The most important thing I am going to tell these traditional rulers, one thing I am going to tell you people are calling for the trouble of your people. We are the ones who have that, we have that, desire to speak and actually caution people, call them in order. If they don't listen, there are evil people like them who might take them head on. And we will come out to say we told you. Because everything that any of these people does, it has consequences, because it is now time that people have woken up from their slumber. It is no longer the time you will be actually collecting money to sabotage the life of the youth. Eventually, if this youth turn against you, don't blame anything. Blame yourselves, because the youth are now fighting to take over their future that has been, that has been taken away for a very long time. The youth who are actually disenfranchised, the youth who are actually disgruntled, are fighting to take over what belongs to them. And making such type of statement in the public domain, it is actually, you are endangering yourself. You are endangering yourself. And you made it and you brought it into the public domain. We know that many people might handle the situation, many people will come out to handle this type of situation to actually be, because of how angry they are. They might not control their emotion. At the end of the day, you might think, if anything happened to these slaves called the traditional rulers, you might think, no, it is those people who are talking. It is not them. It is not them. They are going to talk as they feel. This freedom of speech. The same way these traditional rulers said the way they felt. Pray against anybody who is going to vote Hope Uzodimma, against Hope Uzodimma. When those people he is praying against turn against him, because it is actually traditional rulers, their speech has a lot of effect. If people does not know, if the people of Imo State and people of Biafra land does not understand what these traditional rulers did, that is called manipulation. They have manipulated people in advance, using their position of office, using the offer that they are being issued to use to curse and to use to bless. They have used it to manipulate you. They have used it to actually, place you. They are, they placing you under duress that you must vote for the criminal Hope Uzodimma, the Fulani, whom they will say, how many people are you willing to kill if we give you this position of leadership in Imo State? This is the same people that these people are praying for you not to see good if you don't vote for him. Under Hope Uzodimma's watch, there was cannibalism, people eating human flesh in Imo State. First in the history of Imo State, people who ate human flesh. There was criminality. Killing, it was a bloodbath. It is the same Hope Uzodimma who went into the marketplace. He set it ablaze with the military, and he came out to tell you that the reason why he set this marketplace ablaze, it is because he saw some explosive. There is there are people who are bringing explosive into this marketplace. Therefore, we had to set the whole marketplace ablaze. Instead of the law enforcement going to the shop one after another to find where that explosive is hidden, they set the whole shop, the whole peoples, the whole goods, set it ablaze. Hope Uzodimma did it, and he came. He threw. When we made noise, Hope Uzodimma came to the media to give them a fake promise. Hope Uzodimma came to the media to throw a blanket approach that he's going to rebuild the market. He is going to compensate people. What? Compensate them on what basis? Hope Uzodimma is ruling Imo State, first citizen of Imo State, but living in Abuja. Because of the insecurity Hope Uzodimma brought upon Imo State. He is living in Abuja, ruling Imo State. Now you are calling on your people as traditional ruler, who are supposed to be the most respected and people who does not take part in politics, because you are, according to the tradition, you are not placed there through politics. The gods of the land chose who is going to be the custodian of the land. That's how our tradition and our traditional rulers are being selected. The gods of the land chooses from which family is going to take the custodian of the land, and they choose that person. And they, of course, you have watched, the various Nollywood movies. It is similar to that of what they are doing there. They choose who is going to be the first citizen of the land. Who are we going to work for? The traditional rulers. They were more important than any other leader in our land. But today, well done Britain, well done Fulani. You people have managed to destroy us from within, to the extent of making our traditional rulers an object of caricature, to the extent of being able to make our traditional rulers, people, if you give them $150, they will start speaking from both sides of their mouth. Well done, Britain. Well done, Fulanese. You people did it. You people did it. We are in a mess. We are in a one big mess. There is nobody out there that is going to speak for us. Even if it is not Hope Uzodimma, who is a killer machine, who caused bloodbath in Imo State. Let's take the issue of Hope Uzodimma aside. Let us now talk about the issue of traditional rulers engaging in politics. Are traditional rulers supposed to be engaging in politics? Because politics takes away your tradition. Politics overrides everything. Now that means we no longer have traditions. What we are having is politics. Politics, millennium, new phenomenon. That's what we are having. Our life has been stolen from us. Our heritage has been stolen from us. Our freedom has been stolen from us. Everything that, makes us human being has been taken away. We are living like we are like living like a living dead. That's what we are. Because if they have stolen our tradition, if they have stolen whom we are, it means that we are people that have no direction. We are people that does not have a home to go to. That's what they have done to us. But those traditional rulers, I believe that what you people did, I believe it has a consequences. And I don't know who is going to, I don't know if it is Chukwu Okike, the God of the land, is going to pay you people for what you have done. I don't know how he is going to be, I don't know what he's going to use to pay you people for your evil and dangerous activity, for the bastardization of our culture and heritage, for actually, making a mockery of our tradition. The God of the land does not, leave that, unabated. The God of the land does not leave the revenge of the gods. You people should know better, actually. You people should know better than what you people have done, standing on the ground of Imo State to actually make mockery of the gods of the land of Imo State. You people have the gods to contend with. If you people know what is good for you, the same way you pray, you turn around and revoke that prayer that you have done and tell the gods of the land that you have done a grave mistake. Then you beg for their forgiveness. And you video yourself and throw it out. Because the gods of our land, the gods of the truth, the gods that speak for the, for a poor person is rising up against you. I am warning you. It is not of any man's doing. It is of your doing. Because you are, given a traditional leadership to represent the people in the truth and the honesty. To actually, do things that will be in the favor of the people and the land. Not things that will kill and destroy the land. I am going to leave it here. As an atụọla ọmalụ atụọla ofeke ofenye isi n'ọfịa. Onye sikwa na nne ya agaghị alala ụla. Nwatakịrị si na nne ya agaghị alahụ ụla. Ụla agakwa na-atụ ya. It is very, very important. We are in the 21st century. We are in the 400 years of suffering as a black nation. Suffering, brutal suffering. We can no longer take it anymore. And the gods and the land knows that we have risen up to restore back our heritage, to restore back the glory of the land. And no one will stand in our way. Our people must be protected. Our people must be safe. Our people and our future is what matters, not politics. So, great people of Africa, welcome to this program. Great people, the reason why we had to take it home first, because a saying that says charity begins from home. That's why we had to take it home first. This is exactly what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been lamenting and crying about. Bastardization of our culture. Fulani man, Fulani emir. Before you go to them, you bow down for them. You will dress like them. That is every, including presidential aspirant, including Obi. They even dress like them. They go and bow down before them. The emirs. What do you call them? The Fulani, what do you call them? The man, Sultan of Sokoto. They go and bow down to them. They go and salute them. Pay homage. Where is any traditional ruler in our land who is worthy of being godfather? That's why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you there is no godfatherism in Biafra land. You don't have them. Because all of them, those who are supposed to be the godfather, they have sold their conscience. They have sold their dignity. So on what dignity are they going to stand to practice their godfatherism? You cannot eat your cake and still have it. I thought I might reflect on that. Great and wonderful people of Africa, welcome to this program. Of course, you can see the program we have this evening, morning, afternoon, and night. And we are live and direct. It is 24 minutes on top of the hour. Regardless of where you are watching from, we are live and we are direct. Share the video. Are you watching on YouTube? Click the like button. Share the video. Are you watching on Facebook? Share the video. Don't forget to follow the page where you are watching from. Don't forget to follow the page where you are watching from. Let us actually go first to... Let us run quickly. Let us run quickly to the what we have for the day. remember that we've been, reporting the activities of ECOWAS against the Niger Republic military junta. ECOWAS has been having extraordinary meetings. ECOWAS has been having meetings upon meetings, blowing hot, saying that they are ready to go for war. It is ECOWAS. They've been doing that, and we thought that by now that the ECOWAS region will be full of smokes. But of course, remember, if you say that what we are doing here is not yielding fruit, you must be a liar. Because what we do is actually yielding fruit. And that is the reason why we will continue to do it. And that is the reason why we will not stop until our people are mind emancipated, just like Bob Marley said, that we must do it ourselves. We are not waiting for the political elite. There is no elite. There is no political elite. What you have, they are political stooges who does not know their left from their right, who cannot even negotiate on behalf of their country or on behalf of the people. What you have in the space of politics are those bigots who believe they know politics, who believe that they are actually can represent you. But of course, what they are representing is their pocket, because they will always make this, when you tell them about the, what is going on, in their mind, the response will be, if you can't beat them, we join them. If you cannot beat them, you join them. And in this present politics that is being played in Africa, there is nobody who has a distinction different from others. They are all doing the same. They are moving the same trajectory. None of them is willing to do the right thing. And that is the reason why you have seen military takeover becoming prevalent. And we are going to actually make you to understand exactly why the military takeover will become prevalent. Because if you think about over the years, so many people has been preaching, so many people have been, people have been preaching about African liberation, African emancipation, African freedom, African independence. People has been preaching that. Then do you think that the preaching is not making any difference? Maybe people will say, no, people like to speak, that's why they are speaking. But little do you know that those speeches you hear every day from our African people who actually remembered their past. When I say the past, they remembered what happened pre-colonialism. For you to become anti-colonial advocate, for you to become African decolonization advocate, for you to actually preach emancipation, that's why Bob Marley say, how long shall they kill our prophet while we stand aside and look? You know why? Because for you to become those advocates, what we call prophet or prophecy, it is about those people who remembered their past life, who remembered the occurrence in the past. Those are the people who will be able to tell you, this is what happened, this is how we must do it. And you might not take them seriously. They remembered their past life. They remembered how the problem came. And they now, from their present experience, they know how to. They tell you, this is how we may navigate it. The prophets are those who their consciousness are actually reflecting in front of them. It is very, very, important that I tell you, because this is exactly what is happening to me. When each time I think about the problems of Africa, and each time I want to discuss the issue of how their activities have impacted our lives, our brains negatively, you will remember your consciousness will kick in, to the extent that every information that you will extract from it, if you go and do a research, it is in correspondence with it. So that is the reason why anybody, like those who started this struggle, like Thomas Sankara, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, all these, our heroes, all of them, their consciousness was wide awoken, and that's why they had to kill them again. They had to kill them again, so that they do not infect others with the truth. So, that is the reason why each and every time you come online, you will never, you won't lack anything to say, because there is always things that happens every day. It is sometimes you come online, you are a bit slow because your brain or your mind is tired. It's understandable. Once you see any activities that take place in a particular moment, you will actually draw a narrative. And when you think about this, your narratives, you go back to the history, you will find out your narratives is actually matching to this situation in the past. That's the way it is. I thought I might tell you. So that is actually why Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Because he knows if you pay attention, you can actually kickstart your consciousness yourself. Once that consciousness is actually awoken, it is easy for you to actually get free, to know exactly the truth without being told. You will be seeing things in different perspective from ordinary person who is still under the shackle of colonialism and manipulation. You will draw meanings from everything. Now, there is something that I know you see here. If you look at these photos right in front of you, you will see the UN sitting. The UN sitting. I think it is a... let me find out what this UN sitting was called. This UN sitting, what is it called? UN Security Councils. These are the UN Security Councils. They had, I don't know if they call it a G7 summit, but this is UN Security Council. They had a sitting where they discuss how to treat the artificial members of this Security Council, which all Africa are the artificial members of this UN Security Council. This is where they plan on what is going to happen. How are they going to deal with this issue called Africa? How are they going to enslave them the more? This is the council that they sit on. Then you, on your right hand side, you see it is the junta leader. The reason why I brought the military junta leader, it is because finally the ECOWAS decided to concede. Remember, they've been jumping up and down. We have a military standby. They are now negotiating. Now I am going to show you how they have conceded, especially the president of Nigeria, how they have conceded. We are going to see all that. We are going to touch on that. And we are done with the traditional rulers. And now, UN Security Council and how AU went to their dinner party and decided that they will, place sanction or remove Gabon from being her member or its member. It is laughable. It is laughable. People who are supposed to be looking for a solution to the continental problem, or will I call it continental epidemic, which is poverty, continental epidemic, which is bad leadership, continental, epidemic, which is corruption that has become prevalent in every position of leadership across the board of Africa. They are not doing that. What they are doing is looking for those who are trying to free themselves from the activities of the man on the blind spot. The most dangerous, criminal that will attack you is the criminal that comes from the blind spot. The man on the blind spot. That is exactly what has been ruling Africa. You see the man you call your leader, then you will not know that there is a man on the blind spot who is guiding and directing your leader on how to lead you. Few days ago, or a few months ago, or every day, I will always tell you the activities of gold, or what gold in Zamfara state or gold in Osun state is actually what it is being used for in Nigeria. Maybe we are going to touch on that, and we are also going to touch on that refinery that that scam of refinery you see built by Dangote. We are going to touch on that because there are many information that is emerging about that refinery. We are going to talk about it. So now, first of all, let me go to how Russia saved the day, because if you look at my topic, I wrote there, Russia saves the day. YouTube is dealing with us. YouTube is dealing with us decisively because, of course, these things, companies, they can be manipulated. They do not want our voices to be heard, but that's okay. We will continue to preach this gospel. We will not relent. Even if they give us one person watching, it is still okay. We will continue. It doesn't matter. There was a time we'll come here, it is only 5 people watching. It is only 10 people watching. They will send their agent provocateurs to come and tell us, remind us that it is one person watching. It does not matter. We know that they know we are hitting them hard. So it will not deter us. So let us go to how Russia saved the day. And for you to understand that Russia is not actually people who will hold you in their back while your legs still touches the ground. So many of you does not know that Russia, they know the truth about who is God. They know the truth about who is Jesus. They know the truth and they know and they worship this black Jesus. They worship this black God. And some of you who does not understand it, who are worshiping European Jesus and European angels and God. That's why they have authority over you. That's why they own monopoly over you. So that is exactly, you don't understand it. Because when you begin to wonder why is it that Russia did not colonize any African country? Why did they not colonize any African country? You will come to the terms to know that there is a lot behind it. There is a lot behind it because they had the opportunity and they had the resources, they had the power. Why did they not do it? These are questions you need to be asking yourselves, because so many of our people are now being blindfolded, and they said resources, that resources did, that resources that. We are not talking about resources right now. We are talking about let people be free and handle what they own. It is not we're not talking business here now. We are talking about freedom. As now, if you get a land, you look for a mat to sleep on it. Once you get a land, you look for a mat to sleep on it. Many people does not know. Let me read what transpired in 15 members Permanent Security Council. In the 13th of the UN Security Council, 15 members. Okay, no, not 15 members. Not 15 members that are UN Security Council. Correct that, please. No, not 15 members. But let me read it. Let me read it before we proceed. Russia vote UN resolution on Mali sanction. Russia votes UN resolution on Mali Council. Remember that Russia, regardless of the war in Ukraine, regardless of the sanction, American sanction, US sanction on Russia, Russia is the chair of this UN Security Council. Russia is the chair of this 13th. Russia is the chair of this UN. Is it called? Just one moment. Let me see which number is it called. I think the 13th sitting. The 13th of the UN Security Council, Russia becomes the chair, regardless of the the Ukraine war. They actually did not remove the chairship, the chairmanship of this Security Council. They honored it, and Russia chaired this 13th Security Council. Let us reiterate on the resolution that took place. Now, Russia exercised its veto power to block the targeted sanction proposal led by Mali's former colonial power, France, and the United Arab Emirates. Led by former colonial power, France, and the United Arab Emirates. I'm wondering why these guys are actually going to, I'm wondering why they are going to Arab Emirates. I am wondering why Arab Emirates will vote to sanction Mali. Why? Arab Emirates. Wow, maybe I will let's continue reading. Maybe we will find out. Maybe we might find out. Let's continue reading. Listen. United Nations United States, Russia on Wednesday voted an attempt to keep inside military-run Mali a team of UN experts who had charged that the foreign forces, a veiled reference to Moscow-linked Wagner mercenaries, were involved in widespread abuses. Okay, these widespread abuses, we haven't seen it. Or is there anybody that is here that have seen any widespread abuses? Because we know that if there is any widespread abuses coming from Mali, if we get our hands to it, basically, we are going to actually, come here and talk about it and condemn it. And if you say that if we actually maybe believe that it is a military rule, nobody will complain, nobody will come publicly to complain. I believe there are family members who live abroad, whom people can actually tell what is happening, and they will report it, and they will actually say it. So does it mean that it is only these people in the West that are seeing, that there is a widespread abuses? But let us continue to read to know. Maybe we'll understand the type of widespread abuse that they are talking about. 13th of the UN Security Council's 15 members backed a proposal that would have extended by 1 year targeted sanction in Mali. The 15 members voted to extend the sanction that is already 1 year targeted in Mali, which expires this week, and kept the expert in place. But Russia exercised its veto power to block the proposal, led by Mali's former colonial power France and the United Arab Emirates. China abstained. China did not vote against or vote for. They did not vote against or vote for it. They actually abstained from it. Let us continue. They did it because it is best for their own foreign policy. Russia Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia noted that the sanctions were first put in place in 2017 to support a peace agreement in the long-troubled Sahel country. It is fundamentally important that the UN Security Council sanctions deal purely with that issue and not be used as a means of foreign influence on Mali. Correct. That's a good development. And that is something that the panel of experts of the Security Council has been involved in, he said. Western powers accused Russia of retaliating after the panel spoke critically about action by Malian forces and their foreign security partners, a clear reference to Wagner. A report submitted to the Security Council in August said violence against women allegedly committed by the Malian armed forces and their foreign and local allies is systematic and organized. I don't know if there is such violence against women. I don't know if there is indeed a violence against women in Mali. People of Mali should actually come forward, because it is very, very important we understand exactly what is going on. And we are, people have their own culture. People have their own belief system. If their belief system is, if they are exercising or promoting their belief system I know that these people are always calling it violent against these people, violent against that people, but we don't know if there is any violence against women, any activities against anybody. We do not condone it, and we condemn it. If there is it, people should actually inform us so that we will actually come and condemn it, in as much as we are talking about and promoting this activities of the military, because we understand the advantage of it. It is about saving lives. It is about stopping a revolution that will take many blood of people, in the quest to remove the Western hegemony against Africa and her own people. So we understand that if the military decide to do it themselves, it will save lives, because if ordinary people do it without the support of the military, the Western stooge, which is in your land, will use the military to spill the blood of these people. And that is the only reason why we are supporting the activities of what the militaries are doing, because they are, on the other hand, saving the lives of African people on this. Because if the revolution take place, people are going to die. People are definitely going to die, but Africa is going to win at last. So they are saving the day. The militaries are taking it upon themselves to remove the Western hegemony while not spilling any blood of anybody. So it is actually condonable, and we support it with everything that I have. I support it as long as the quest is to remove the Western hegemony and save lives, for them not to be controlled and used to destroy their own land and their people. So let us continue to read this. So if in case you are watching from any of these coup country, or where this coup d'etat have taken place, you have my WhatsApp number on the phone. You send me a message, tell me that they are oppressing you people. We will come here and we will actually expose it. It is very, very important, because we know what we are protecting. We are not protecting injustice. Let us continue. A report submitted to the Security Council in August said violence against women allegedly committed by the Malian armed forces and their foreign and local allies is systematic and organized. Sanction without experts to monitor them would make the entire effort ineffective, U.S. Envoy Robert Wood said. Russia seeks to eliminate the panel of experts mandate to stifle publication of uncomfortable truth about Wagner's actions in Mali, which require attention, Wood said. Too many people continue to suffer from the ongoing violence due to Russia's action. This council has failed to renew some of the most important international initiatives for addressing this crisis, he added. Last-minute diplomacy fails. The expiring sanction ban travel and the freeze assets of violators of a 2015 peace agreement implementation has been limited, with only 8 people hit with sanctions. Russia had accepted an extension of the sanction, but insisted it would be for the last time, and it sought an immediate end to the expert panels. Diplomats at the Security Council broke away for a closed-door huddle, but returned after failing to break the deadlock. Russia put forward its own resolution, which it alone supported. Wood called the Russian effort did they call it disingenuous, and lamentable, saying Moscow introduced an alternative resolution with no opportunity for discussion. They are the chair. Nebenzia insisted that Russia offered a constructive approach and a sensible compromise, but that Western powers ignored the concern of Moscow and Mali. There was every chance and opportunity for this to work up until the last minute, he said. Imagine Russia ally. Mali has shifted sharply to Russia after back-to-back coups in 2020 and 2021, becoming one of the few nations to back Moscow at the United Nations over its invasion of Ukraine. Mali's junta has kicked out French forces battling jihadists and the UN peacekeeper. They say that they have kicked out those battling jihadists. When these people are there, jihadists will never finish, believe you me. It is better you kick them out. If you want foreign effort to battle jihadists, there are other African military which you can bring in to fight jihadists. South Africa have a very good military, advanced military technology. Egypt have advanced military technology. Even Ethiopia, they have good military also, of military forces. So you can actually turn to them. You can actually go to these people and seek for military help. Don't go to this Europe and seek for military help, because when you do so, it means that those jihadists and all these people will never ever finish. Maybe, I don't know why Saudi Arabia is backing French to extend the sanction. I don't know why they are backing French. Maybe they are also having hand in the jihadist and the Islamic group going on there. I'm not sure. Maybe, because it is quite unusual. It is quite unusual. Now, let us continue. Mali's junta has kicked out French forces battling jihadists and UN peacekeepers. Lacking government support, ended decade-long mission in late June. Decade-long mission. 10 years long mission. 10 years long mission. So what were they doing there for the past decade? What were they doing there for the past decade? It means that these people are ineffective. They've been there, then these jihadists and terrorists are expanding more and more. So are they trying to make peace between jihadists and the Malis? So if their peacekeeping is not working, or whatever they are doing is not working, they should vacate the land, because we don't need delay strategy. They are delaying people. Wagner, whose leader Yevgeny Prigozhin was killed in a plane crash last week after leading a revolt against Russia President Vladimir Putin, has been ruthless in its support of Malian and other African military that hires the group. UN rights investigators say Malian troops and foreign forces presumed to be Wagner were behind the massacre of at least 500 people in the central Malian town of Mora in March 2022. The Malian junta had urged an end to the sanction regime, saying a previous government support for it to back the peace process was no longer relevant. But tensions have been rising between the government and the coordination of Azawad movement. which brings together predominantly ethnic Torats, who in 2012 mounted a revolt in northern Mali. The draft resolution voted by Russia would have voiced concern over threats to the ceasefire and urged full cooperation with the UN peacekeepers as they moved ahead with their departure by the end of the year. Pointing to rising uncertainty in Mali, British envoy James Kuriki called Russia's veto reckless. This will reduce the Council oversight and engagement on Mali's peace process at crucial juncture, he said. So the plan is all about for them to have a full access. The plan is all about for them to have a full access to control what is happening in Mali. But Russia was actually saving the day, blocking it, making sure that his allies receive a fair hearing. That is exactly what is going on there. The most important thing we need to understand is that we can no longer go. I don't know why we actually go for external forces to come and fight the battle in Africa. What are the African militaries, all of them all over the place? What were they doing? Why can't they call? What is AU doing? Why would AU not come together to say, let us come together and fight and eradicate terrorism in Africa? That is the reason why I tell you that they go to dinner party in Addis Ababa, or they go to maybe champagne party in Addis Ababa to congratulate themselves for what they have achieved for themselves, not for the country they represent. Why can't all this military, Africa have a lot of military that will be able to fight and eradicate terrorism, but because there is no political will, there is nobody who is willing to do so. There is nobody who is actually willing to fight the battle of Africa. All they are willing to do is to get into the position of power and siphon all the money, embezzle them, take them to abroad. Then the same people who will tell you that the corruption is prevalent in Africa and the corruption of siphoning money and swindling money is prevalent in Africa, they will give up their banks is going to bank this money for the corrupt leaders of Africa. They will use the same money to buy properties in these Western countries. That is the reason why, if you go to Gabon, you'll find out that Ali Bongo, or Omar Bongo, whichever one he called himself, has more than 34 mansions or houses abroad. More than 34 houses abroad. Only one person with the money belonging to more than 2 point. They are not up to 3 million. And they have resources that is bigger than the country. But the country is not doing well. Because Ali Bongos bought the franchise. French gave them the franchise to be managing all this while. Yet when they come and tell you it is democracy, which democracy will one person rule for 56 years? One family rule for 56 years. Is that not a dynasty? So why are they telling us about this issue of democracy? Does it mean that we are so uneducated that we don't understand democratic, dispensation, how it functions? Now, one family rule for 56 years, yet people from France is telling you it is democracy. AU is telling you it is democracy. That is the reason why I decided to, bring what the AU said about this Gabon. because AU was so quick to run. They have actually removed Gabon from AU because African Union, once you remove one of their members that is, supporting their party in Addis Ababa, they have sanctioned you. Look at what they have done. African Union suspends Gabon's membership after military coup. Can you imagine? Suspension of Gabon's membership after military coup. What does that tell you? They support the downfall of Africa. They support the man on the blind spot that controls the leaders that controls you. They support the man on the periphery that controls the leaders that control you from the mainstream. Now let us listen to it, the rest of the news, what they say. The body said it strongly condemned the military takeover, which resulted in the ouster of President Ali Bongo Ondimba. So African Union has been supporting the poverty of a country that is not up to 3 million population, but have many resources, the 7th oil production nation in Africa. So they are supporting them, that one man dynasty or one family made a democracy, and in fact it is a dynasty of Bongo family. The dynasty of Bongo family, they decided that they will support the dynasty, yet they claim they are supporting democracy. It is only people who does not understand democracy, what it stands for, that are going to buy the story of UN and African Union, that are going to be buying the story of French macaroni and African Union, because if we want to understand democracy, we can easily go to Google and actually Google right now, what is democracy? It is where people are actually own the sovereignty of that every nation that practice democracy. Then the power belongs to them. They make decision of who is going to govern, not somebody who is going to be governing and continuously governing, and at the end of the day they rig themselves back to governing, and the people will be there keeping quiet. People are keeping quiet because the power of police and army lies in the hands of those governing. That has been the problem. That's why people are keeping quiet, and that's why the military are saving lives right now, because people will eventually rise up and the same military are going to kill them. The African Union Peace and Security Council said it has decided to immediately suspend Gabon following the military coup in the country this week. Suspending Gabon. African Union, for all I care, has never done anything that is going to help ordinary people in Africa. They are only supporting each other for looting Africa to ground. That's what African Union has been doing, in my own perspective. Because if you want to actually compare African Union to European Union, they do things that will help them to thrive. African Union continuously to following the people who are destroying the lives of the people. People who are the man on the periphery that is governing them to govern us. They are following them, continue to abide by their instruction to govern us. That's what they've been doing. They have never, thought right or done anybody right in Africa. So making you non-member of it, it is actually doing you a favor, coming away from the fraternity that never wish good for any African country. The body said on X, which is Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, formerly Twitter, that it strongly condemns the military takeover of power in the Republic of Gabon and has decided to immediately suspend the participation of Gabon in all activities of the AU, its organ and institution. They have suspended them from going to heaven. Announcement came after a meeting of council on the situation in Gabon following Wednesday coup that followed disputed election in which President Ali Bongo Ondimba was declared the winner. Ali Bongo Ondimba was declared the winner. He's been winning. They have been winning for 56 years. They have been winning for 56 years. Those who are calling themselves the African Union Council. In your own democracy, why are you not permanent? Why were you not winning for 56 years? Your family or your son? Now it is the same African Union that is watching Museveni, the president of Uganda. President of Uganda is making a move to hand over to his son the position of leadership after him, the same African Union. There is something I is watching. They are not saying anything. Tomorrow they will tell you it is a democracy. If there is a coup taking place in such area, African Union will come and tell you, you need to restore democracy where father gives to the son, and the son maybe will give to the wife or give to the children. Now you will look at these things. You know, that if there is something I love about Museveni, I love him for what he did during the time he decided that he does not want, he will sign anti-LGBTQ, law. No matter the pressure, he stood his ground. I love him for that, but does not rule out that he has never or he has not helped the people of Uganda to make progress. I cannot rule it out. Because we want a developed Africa. That's what we are looking for. That's the reason why my people died in 1967. Because they want to fight this man on the periphery, the man on the blind spot, controlling the lives of millions of people. My people died for that. And all this African Union supported the death of my people. They have never spoken about it. Why do you think we will have faith on them? They are hosting a dinner and wine and champagne party in Addis Ababa. Now, they are watching Museveni going through the direction of giving his son the leadership after him. They will not say anything because they want to be reactive. They don't want to be proactive. They will tell you, no, we want democracy. Democracy is a place whereby a father finishes and gives to the son. Just like it has been happening in Gabon. Who did this to our people? And most of them in the African Union, if you look at their age, you will find out they are our ancestors. They are our ancestors. That's why they cannot take a decision that is going to be helping us to thrive. They are the original people who suffered the colonialism, and it is still affecting them. We are only helping them. What the militaries are doing, they are helping them because they will never ever come out of it by themselves. They can only come out of it by the same activities that the militaries are doing. Military has been protecting them, violating ordinary people. It is time now to violate them to protect ordinary people. The turnaround is now. So, if now the same here where African Union decided to, okay, let's see who is chaired this African Union. It said the meeting was chaired by African Union Commissioner for Political Affairs, Bankole Adeoye of Nigeria. Oh! Hey, Nigeria, you are chairing ECOWAS, you are chairing African Union. And wherever you are chairing, you just make it, they take action I don't know if most of the time they don't think about this action that they are taking. That's the worst part of it. Most time, I don't know if they think about the action they are taking, especially people from Nigeria, because once they are in support of this government, government that is, they claim it is government of the people and by the people. Once they are in support of this criminal of the people and by the people, they will never ever try to, listen to the story of the people. They will never ever try to understand or consider the cry of ordinary people like me. They will never, because they are insecure that these things might come and actually remove them as well from their dynasty, or from their, from their spoils. They believe it will remove them. That is the reason why in Niger Republic, it is chaired by a Nigerian man. In now Gabon, it is African Union is chaired by a Nigerian man. These Nigerian people, don't you think that you are being used like negatively? Don't you think you are being used negatively? Don't you think, most of the time Nigerian people believe they are very intelligent than any other person. But if you look at their antecedents and exactly what they are doing, you will find out that they have never made a decision that is actually helpful to ordinary people, including in their country. You are suspending these people. African Union did not say anything in 2020 when there is a massacre in Tollgate. People were actually doing protesting against police force that harvest people's organ. This police force that is called SARS were trained by Britain, that is harvesting people's organ in Nigeria. They did not come up to say anything against them. African Union was watching. This Bankole that removed the Gabon was watching. They didn't say anything. But now they cheered you. They made you the chair. Just for you to take, because you people are good. You don't have shame. That's why they always give you a chair. It's happened in Niger Republic. They gave Tinubu chair. Tinubu as a chair took over and sanctioned, cut off electricity, ready to go to war. But let us find out if Bankole is talking about war of Nigeria, and Bankole Adoye of Nigeria, and the current holder of the council rotating chair, Burundi's Wole Nyamitiwe. The takeover ended the Bongos family almost 6 decades. Almost 6 what? Decades. That is exactly it. The dynasty of Bongos. 6 decades, you call it democracy. 6 decades of power belongs to the Bongos. Power is given by the Bongos. Bongos is the same thing we are talking about, democracy. They call it democracy. The takeover ended the Bongos family 6 decades, almost 6 decades in power, and created a new conundrum for region that has struggled to deal with 8 coups since 2020. Wow. 8 coups since 2020. Wow. You people are doing well. It is not a conundrum. I don't see it to be a conundrum. It is something that is straight. It is saving people. There is no conundrum here. It is direct, something that is actually understandable. Removing the man on the blind spot is not a conundrum. It is actually doing the right thing. My fear has been confirmed in Gabon that copycat will start doing the same thing until it is stopped. Tinubu, who chairs West African main regional body ECOWAS, said on Thursday the general who overthrew Gabon's Bongo dynasty will, okay, you call it dynasty, thank you, will be sworn in on Monday as transitional president. Wow. As transitional president, the army said, as the opposition called for its candidate to be recognized as as the winner of weekend election. The military sought to reassure donors they would respect all commitments at home and abroad, and phase in transitional institution. Colonel Ulrich Mamfombi, spokesman of the new regime, said on state television. The swearing in of new leader General Brice Olugai Nguema will take place at the Constitutional Court, said the spokesman, providing the first indication of how the Committee for the Transition and Restoration of Institutions (CTRI) would operate following Wednesday's putsch or putsch, whatever. ECOWAS condemned the coup, saying in the statement that it planned an imminent meeting of head of state to determine how to respond. It did not give a date. Senior officers in Gabon announced their coup before dawn on Wednesday, shortly after the election body declared that Bongo had comfortably won a third term after Saturday's vote. Later on Wednesday, a video emerged of Bongo detained in the residence, asking international allies for help, but apparently unaware of what was happening around him. The officers also announced that Nguema, former head of the Presidential Guard, had been chosen as the head of state. Wow, correct. Now, Bongo told all of you, he said, please make noise. And people are making noise now. Even people are making noise, singing music, dancing, making noise. Because Bongo said, please, friends, families, make noise, make noise. I'm in a situation here. Make noise. Oh, after being in the position, your family has been in a position of a country that does not belong to your family in the past almost 6 decades. You are still calling people to make noise so that you will retrieve the power, as if you are the only citizen that is, in that country. No, you are not. So, ECOWAS threatened military intervention in Niger after a coup there on July 26 and imposed sanctions, but military government has not backed down. Military leaders elsewhere have also resisted international pressure, such as in Mali. They have managed to hold to power. Some have even gained popular support. Yeah, they have to gain popular support because you people never supported popular. They have never supported popular. So the popular support is now given by the new thing, trying the new thing. There are some people who will tell you that they need a new lies. They don't need old lies anymore. They are too used to the old lies. They need a new lies. So that's exactly people are trying the new lies. Managed to hold on to power, and some have even gained popular support. Central Africa Political Bloc, the ECOWAS Economic Community of Central Africa States, condemned the coup in a statement, saying it planned an imminent meeting of head of state to determine how to respond. There had been quite a mute reaction from the Central Africa Economic and Monetary Community, in part due to fear in the region of contagion of coups among countries with similar regime to Bongo dynasty. Oh, let me see. This is the next coup. Where is the next coup? The next coup is going to be maybe Sierra Leone. Okay, it is in Gabon. Let me check that map. It is in Gabon. Now it is in Gabon. Benin. Maybe between Sierra Leone and Benin. Is the next coup. Then Nigeria. Or maybe Nigeria first. But between Sierra Leone and Nigeria first, maybe 3 of them, one of them is the next coup. One of them is the next coup. Let us be watching it closely. And so, this is how we are seeing this news coming. Let me see what Buhari and Tinubu said. The issue of gold mine, we will discuss it some other time, maybe tomorrow or Sunday. Issue of gold mining in the northern state of Nigeria, we will discuss it Sunday. We only have 7 minutes left. Let me see if we are going to see. Now, there is something Tinubu said that I want to bring to you about the Niger Republic. Nigeria president suggests 9 months transition for Niger junta. They are no longer stationing forces. They are suggesting now 9 months instead of 3 years. Now listen to what Tinubu said. The Economic Community of West African States has imposed sanctions on Niger Republic and Niger after troops ousted President Mohamed Bazoum in a coup on 26th of July, and the bloc threatened military intervention as the last resort if talks fail to restore civilian rule. Nigeria President Bola Tinubu on Thursday floated the idea of a transition back to democracy in neighboring Niger, similar to the 9-month period his country underwent in the late 1990s. This is how people are looking for a way to escape Onufatuletu. When you open your mouth and make mouth before, it is not good for you to talk before you start thinking. He spoke and threatened people before he started thinking. Now maybe he is thinking, or he found out that he can't do it. He is weak. He found out that he is weak. He decided now to start thinking. That's why he is telling them down, it is better that the transitioning government lasts only for 9 months and not 3. Lasts only for 9 months and not 3 years. He is probably begging them, please last only for 9 months and not 3 years. They are no longer going to war. We are not talking about war. He said that as it went in Nigeria in 90s. So he is suggesting to them for them to do it the same way it happened in Nigeria in 90s. Oh, Nigeria. The Economic Community of West African States has imposed sanctions on Niger Republic after ousted President Bazoum in coup 26th of July. In a statement on Thursday, the bloc insisted it wanted Bazoum back in power right away. It wants Bazoum back in power right away. It failed to resolve it. Okay. The military authority in Niger must restore constitutional order immediately by liberating and reinstating President Mohamed Bazoum, it said. Niger's new military leaders have dug in, saying they want the maximum of 3 years transition period to restore constitutional order and have ordered police to expel finance envoy as tension build with a key partner in Niger anti-jihadist fight. Late on Thursday, Niger Interior Ministry announced it was stopping UN agencies, NGOs, and international organizations from working in military operation zones. Now, before I go, because I don't have much time, I only have 3 minutes left. The most important thing that these people that are doing their coup, if they indeed know that they want to help the ordinary people and they want to remove the man on the periphery, which is the Western hegemony and the control of the French in their various countries. The same thing that is going to happen in Cameroon, the same thing that is going to happen in this, Sierra Leone or whatever, those areas. So if they want to if they are fighting for the sake of the people, they should watch out for the rebels that is going to rise up from them. they are going to start establishing rebellions, so that they will call you that you are anti-human rights, that you are. Remember what they did to Gaddafi. What they did to Gaddafi was they established a rebellion group, a mutinous group that started rebelling against Gaddafi government. So the Gaddafi fight against them. They say that they are violating human rights. They went in. So that is exactly. Make sure that if you see your saboteur, deal with them decisively from under. Don't show us on the media what you do to your saboteurs, because saboteurs will sabotage you, will sabotage the mission. The mission is all about removing the Western hegemony, the Western imperialism, the Western control against our people, against the continent of Africa. That's what we are fighting. And we should not lose our eyes on the ball. We must always see the bigger picture. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay informed. The fight continues. We are not going anywhere. We will continue the fight until we get our independence, until we are totally free and liberated from the activities of this imperialism.